another issue that's really been very disappointing. I don't know who's to blame for it, but the fact that they are looking to retire the Pataudi Trophy
Right.
is been something that really irritated me, and it's just very sad to hear comments from Sharmila Tagore, who was Tiger Pataudi's wife, who survived
Yeah.
him, and talking about why do they need, it's such a new trophy. It's not like it's 100 years or 50 years old. It's barely been there, and they're looking to retire it. What are your thoughts? You've been a big fan of Tiger. I remember at Redef, you've told me some amazing stories about Tiger Pataudi, and I think the youth really need to know about him. He didn't play IPL, but I think he's one of the great stories and one of the greatest cricketers India's had. And I think it's time to continue celebrating him instead of trying to, bury his charm and his talent.
Yeah, I mean, see, one of the things that I remember, in fact, the first cricket match that I ever watched live in a stadium was during the Australian tour of India. That was 1969. In December, there was a test match in Chennai. This was the side that Ian Chappell led. Lots of Australian legends were there. Stackpole was there, Laurie was there, Ian Chappell himself, obviously. Then there was Redpath, there was Graham McKenzie was there,
Wow.
Doug
What
Walters
a team.
played, Ashley Mallet. I mean, yeah, it was a galaxy of stars. And I remember, I think in that match, Pataudi top scored in one innings. And,
Wow.
you know, yeah, uh, I think he scored a 50 something. We lost that match. We lost by about 70 odd runs. But I remember that Pataudi was the top scorer in the second innings. No, in the first innings. Uh, we had, and see, even if you look at that team, everybody talks about the team that 2 years later Ajit Wadekar led. They called him Lucky. Uh, and you know how he went to the West Indies, he won all of that. But remember the
Correct.
roots of that team. That team was built by Tiger Pataudi. If you think of
That's
the
true.
players that I saw in 1969, Chetan Chauhan was there, Ashok Mankad was there, Ajit Wadekar himself was in the side, Gundappa Vishwanath was in the side, Farooq Engineer, Eknath Solkar, Mohinder Ramanath. Then you
That's true.
had Prasanna, Bedi, Venkatraghavan, all of them were there. So, I mean, what was the side that Wadekar led? It was a side minus Pataudi plus Salim Durrani. That's it. And Salim Durrani had
That's
been
true.
he was dropped from the side. But see, the thing is, I remember two things. One was, uh, and both the things were told to me by Bishan Singh Bedi, who's a huge Pataudi fan. Uh, I remember once we had a long conversation about Pat, and I was asking Bish, I mean, I know the story. One eye, he lost it in an accident. He came, and I mean, there are international cricketers who are quoted as saying it's hard enough to play cricket with two eyes. I don't know how he does it with one eye. Uh,
And he
Even
played
Sachin has
40
said,
of his 46 tests. Yeah, he played 40 of his
yeah,
46 tests with one eye.
correct. So there was that, right? But I was asking, what is his impact on Indian cricket? And I remember Bedi saying this. He said, see, Indian teams, when they went up against, say, Australia or England, whom we played most often, he said we had a sort of inferiority complex when we went into the field, because these English speaking sides with a swagger and they are the lords of cricket kind of thing. And then he said Pataudi came and changed all that, because he is himself is a Nawab. He is from Oxbridge. I mean, this is nothing new to him. He's done his bit even on the playing fields of England. And look at the team he had. No, at various times he had ML Sima, another aristocrat. He had Abbas Ali Beg,
Yeah.
Salim Durrani. So
Yeah.
Bedi said they used to swagger onto the field like they were the ones who owned the field, not the Englishmen or the Australians. And he said it gave us
Wow.
that sense of belonging. And the other thing he talked to me about, once we were discussing captaincy, and I asked Bedi, of all the people you have played under and who you have seen subsequently, who do you rate as the greatest captain ever? And he, without a minute's hesitation, he said Pataudi. So I asked him, how come, why not Wadekar, for instance? You had your big wins under Wadekar. And he said, see, I'll tell you what it's about Pataudi. he will toss the ball to you, so you go mark your run up. And by the time you've turned around, he set the field, and he would have set the field that you want. He said he will read your bowling style, what the pitch is doing, and he will give you the field that you would have set for yourself. So he said, I'll give you one example. And he talked about that same series. I forget which test it was, where Beatty got Chappell in an interesting fashion. He said Chappell was playing spin beautifully. So there's this innings, Chappell walks out to bat, Beatty has the ball. So Pataudi sets a field. So Beatty, and Pataudi was in the covers. He was a brilliant cover fielder, by the way. So Pataudi was in the covers. Beatty asked him to move to extra cover. So there was a huge gap between point and extra cover. And Beatty said, I tossed the ball up on a length just outside off stump. Ian Chappell comes forward, he cover drives, goes through that gap, it goes for four. Pataudi quietly runs after the ball, picks it up, brings it all the way back. Next ball, almost the exact same ball, same shot, another four. He says again, Pataudi has to go fetch it, comes back. So third ball, I did the exact same thing. And he says the same result. Chappell hits a third successive four. Pataudi goes, fetches the ball. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't. He just moves back to his position. Fourth ball, Ian Chappell is out stumped. So I said, what was that? He said, what I did was I kept giving him. I fed him that drive, and then that fourth ball, I pulled the length back just a fraction. So he had to reach forward. His toe came out of
Oh,
the crease. Yeah,
wow.
he was beaten by the turn, and engineer stumped him. And he said, the point is, I can think of no other captain who, after three fours going through a gap, he won't plug that gap. So if Pataudi had plugged that gap, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I could do it because
Wow.
I was giving Chappell a drivable ball. He said that is Pataudi. He understands what you're trying to do and he'll let you do it. He won't come and
What a
interfere with your
fantastic.
plans. Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
the guy the guy is a huge story. Yeah. The anyone who's played with him, when they talk about him, their face just lights up. I mean, for Sachin Tendulkar to say in one instance that, I don't know how Pataudi played with one eye. I mean, it's all I can do to play with two eyes. It tells you the caliber of it.
And it's
And think
something to be
about it.
proud of. He's the first captain who led India to an overseas win, first time ever
Yeah.
In New Zealand that game. So I mean, we all
Yeah,
need to
I
really
mean,
celebrate the man.
even more than leading the side to an overseas win, he built the side that then started winning overseas in West Indies, in
That's true.
this thing, all of that. Wadeka's side, the one that did well in the West Indies and in England, that was Pataudi's side with Wadekar leading it. So yeah, I mean it's sad. Yeah,
Amazing.
I mean you have 100-year trophies that have been going on and on for 100 years plus, and nobody has found any fault with it. Why they had to retire this
Correct.
one, I don't. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it seems
it
like
did leave a
politics. I
bad.
mean,
Yeah, I mean I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but the only thing I can think of is the use of the word Nawab in the title. No, Nawab of Pataudi Trophy. No, 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 no. Don't use it there. This
doesn't
is a
sound
new
right
India.
at this time. Yeah, it's really disappointing.
Anyway.